Good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome to Adventures of the Broken Retired. I'm Don. I'll be your host today, and along with my sidekick, Elmer the Reckless Remote, we will tell you some stories, hopefully give you a happy day. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for all the subscriptions and all the comments. Again, I'm going to tell you, I love the comments. I sit down here every morning and go through those and answer as many as I can, and it's just wonderful. 99% of the people, 99.9% of the people are just absolutely kind, and it's really good. So thank you very much. This morning while I was sitting around drinking coffee, I was watching the Trek Planner. You know, familiar with that? Little guy named Jeff. Little guy, I shouldn't call him that. That's rude. A gentleman by the name of Jeff who has a channel called the Trek Planner. He goes out and goes around in the desert looking for pictographs and rock, stone structures. It's pictographs and something else. What's the other one? Anyway, he goes out in the desert looking around at stuff that dates back anywhere 500, 800,000 years. He's very, very good at it. He's got the procedure down pat. Real good with the drone. He takes some chances. Of course, he's a young guy, so I'm sure if I was his age, I'd do the same thing. But he takes some chances that kind of make me nervous. Sometimes I kind of get worried about the guy because he's out there climbing around. He's by himself, and he's out there climbing around like that. And you think, man, you slip and break your leg, brother, you're in trouble. Now I'm sure he's prepared. I'm sure he carries one of those beacon things with him, so help can find him. Help knows that he needs help, and they can find him, which you'd be a fool to go out there without. But anyway, his channel is really good. And when I was watching it this morning, I kind of got into the mindset of what it would have been like to be one of those people who left those pictographs and who built those stone walls in the caves that were up on cliffs. I mean, you remember when your kids were toddlers? You were worried about them. You had to have you had to have eyes that could move different ways to be able to keep track of them. Can you imagine what it was like to have a toddler when you lived in a cave, 50, 75 feet in the air? You know, up a vertical wall. To talk about, you better look after the kids. And you didn't have to worry about getting a scratch from the neighbor's cat or even the neighbor's dog biting them. You had to worry about a mountain lion eating them or a coyote attacking them. Must have been hard to watch over kids. But anyhow, I digress. So I was just sitting around thinking about what it would have been like to have lived back then, you know, and how much fun it would be, how great it would be to sit down and have a conversation with one of those people, find out what the pictographs meant. You know, that'd be a cool thing. And just learn all about their life and their lifestyle and what the what the desert area was like when they lived there, and have them talk about the effort they had to put out to get all those flat stones all the way up the side of a cliff to make a wall. I guess they made a wall so people couldn't see them and so the kids wouldn't fall out. But really, it would be great to talk to some of those people. And then it kind of made me think of what it would be like to talk to other people through history. So I started thinking, if I had opportunity to throw out a couple of names and sit down and have a conversation with those people, what names would I call out? I mean, the truth of it, there's a lot of them. All right, so I wanted to narrow it down just to a couple. The first name that I came up with that I thought would be real important or real good to to talk to him was Benjamin Franklin. Um, Benjamin Franklin was a statesman. He was a nobleman. He was uh, one of the architects of the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence, if I recall correctly. I'm not necessarily Mr. History buff, but I think he was instrumental in both of those. I believe he was an alchemist. I know he was a scientist. If I recall correctly, he was a doctor, or at least did medical research. One of the things that he did that was, oh, by the way, he's the only person, as far as I know, I could be wrong, I'm not perfect. As far as I know, he's the only person who's never been a president who's on money, paper money, and he's on a $100 bill. So, I mean, that he's got to have pretty high standing. Now, a $100 bill is a pretty prestigious thing to me. To have your picture on a $100 bill, I just had a picture flash through my mind. I'm sorry. I just had a picture flash through my mind of Barney and Ed on a $100 bill. That would be cool. Anyway, man, I can't believe. Anyhow, Barney and Ed on a $100 bill. Anyway, uh, anyway, he's Benjamin Franklin, not Barney and Ed, but Benjamin Franklin is on the $100 bill. Uh, so it's a pretty prestigious place to be. And he was a very, very important person in history. And he did a lot of traveling. What's really incredible is that he did a lot of traveling back and forth between the United States and Europe. And if you think about the way you got back and forth between the USA, or whatever they were calling it back then, the colonies, I guess they were calling it. I don't know. But if you think about the way you got back and forth, I mean, it was wooden boats. They weren't very big if you want to go by today's standards. Of course, I'm sure they were big for their day, but still. There was no lifeboats, there was no radio, there was no weather prediction, there was no electricity, there was no, now I'm sure that Benjamin Franklin, being who he was, had the best accommodations that he could, but it wasn't like he was riding the Queen Mary, you know what I'm saying? And it was a long, arduous, tedious, dangerous journey. And he went back and forth several times, which I think took a lot of courage. Because the high seas were crazy places back then, you know. I mean, a pirate ship will sail up next to you, and if you don't have anything they want, they'll set you on fire and let everybody drown. Sweethearts. Anyway, but it would be very interesting to sit down and talk to Benjamin Franklin, because it'd be great. First of all, learn all about the times that my screen went out, the times that he lived in, and his trips across the water, and being a statesman, he spoke to a lot of what I'm gonna call very important people for their time, leaders of countries. I mean, he was instrumental in the formation of the United States. That's he really did a lot. It'd be great to sit down and have a conversation with that guy. I'm sure he could tell you. I'm sure his stories would be funnier than Barney and Ed on a $100 bill, which is comical to me. So anyway, Benjamin Franklin. I think Benjamin Franklin would be a great guy to sit down and talk to. Now, there's another person that I picked out too. There's only two names that I came up. Two names I whittled it down to. And the other name, I don't even know what the name. I don't know what the guy's name is. I'm assuming it's a guy. I don't know what his name is. But I would love to sit down and talk to this guy, because he developed a product that's actually pretty good. The idea itself is good. It's plastic cling wrap. Now, I don't know, I'm not trying to use a brand name, but I want to sit down and talk to the guy who invented plastic cling wrap. And the reason I want to sit down and talk to this guy is because I want to see him successfully use it the way he designed it to be used. And I would feel confident to say even he couldn't do it. You know, you go to tear it off the roll and it won't tear, and then it tears and then it sticks to itself and it all folds up, and then you finally get it all straightened out. You put it over the top of the bowl, then it won't stick to nothing. I'd like to see him successfully use that. All right, boys and girls, thank you very much for being here. This is Don with Adventures of the Broke and Retired, along with my sidekick, Elmer. We were the hosts of today's program. We certainly do appreciate your being here. Thank you so much. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for all the subscriptions and comments. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be made aware of new videos when they come out. You won't have to dig through to find them if you'd like to see them. Hey, thank you, and thank you very much. All right, Elmer, let's go. Take us out. You're slacking, brother.